Now I invite Advocate Sumer Khajuria, and I'm sure he's going to enlighten us with many unknown happenings which are not there in public domain from legal perspective.
Thank you. Great dignitaries of guys and very experienced esteemed personalities, including scholars and other personalities. I am thankful to Dhiman Saab in inviting me to have my views exchanged with this uh, this important issue of 370. The Article 370, we have to go there. Why it was introduced? What was the policy behind it? And who were the persons behind to induct this important article in the Constitution? What was their intention? If we go with this idea of searching the real facts behind it, we have to go. The visit of Lord Mountbatten to Kashmir, perhaps it was on 19th June to 23rd, for 5 days. While their exercise, they were enjoying for trout fishing with Maharaja Hari Singh, and they had some conversation about the future of Jammu and Kashmir. For first 4 days, they had very objective this conversation. What was spent out by Lord Mountbatten, what was their intention? The intention of British people was that this Jammu and Kashmir state should go to Pakistan at any cost. And it is on record. Whatsoever spent out by him, Lord Mountbatten, he frankly told to his media sector of that time. And that has all come out in his book also. He said, I made every attempt to persuade Maharaja Hari Singh to join Pakistan. Although the appointed day of this independence was about 2 months further. And another thing, we have to go back. The architect of this instrument of accession, which was got executed from the 562 states, what was their intention? We have to go behind that also. The policy of British people was that they wanted to keep this India a boiling water. There should be disputes between princely state and government of India which was going to come. That is why they drafted this instrument of accession. Only the accession of state on 3 subjects. Rest, all residuary powers were vested with the states. But I will again quote one fact, that Constituent Assembly then gathered first time in 1946. Then there was no issue of partition of India. But a resolution was presented before the Constituent Assembly, and they spelled out what would be our future India. That resolution was passed in, perhaps it was in January 1947, unanimously, 8-point resolution was that we wanted to have a very strong nation. And to dilute that resolution, we had problems upon this independence. We had 5 types of units. One was British India, and that too governed by governors. Again, some units which were being governed by these commissioners. Third unit was princely states, and likewise we had 5 types of units. And in case this instrument of taxation would have been implemented in the latter and separate, there would have been discrimination between the British India provinces, sub-provinces to whom we say today union territories, and likewise other mother units. The issue which was decided by the Constituent Assembly thereafter, again, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, with the assistance of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, refuted that resolution. What they decided in Constituent Assembly, that our nation should be strong. All powers should, including the residual powers, should rest with central government, not with state. And altogether, this situation was, and based on that, our constitution was drafted. But in case of Jammu and Kashmir, I am again coming to 370. Who was its architect? That was Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah in May 1949. No doubt, our Jammu and Kashmir state was acceded to Dominion of India in October 1947. It is very painful that our members from Jammu and Kashmir, who ought to have been in our Constituent Assembly, who ought to have participated in framing of Constitution, they were deprived of that. And for that, none was other, but I can say firmly on the basis of record, that was Lord Mountbatten. And under his influence and instigations, that was Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, and Pandit Nehru was also siding with him. Why it was delayed? They were waiting for a movement that let Dr. Karan Singh attain the age of majority. Very interesting issue. Because of the reason, in case the whole members which ought to have been sent to this Constituent Assembly of India for framing the Constitution, they ought to have been elected from our democratically constitution body. That was the Praja Sabha, which was alive up to April 1950. Because the last election of this Constituent Assembly was held in April 1947. It had 3 years duration of that time. And in case by election those members are to have been sent, the members who were sent, those were none as Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah himself, second was Mirza Afzal Beg, third was Masoodi, and fourth was Mufti Ram Bakra of Jammu. Again, I will say, the Kashmiri people say that proud with democracy. Today still they are saying that this removal of controversial issues, provisions of article have been done by fraud of this democracy. I question again what these people have done with we people. In 47, when our four members from Jammu and Kashmir ought to have been there by election from the Praja Sabha, they deprived we people. And what they did? From Kashmir, they selected three people. Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, second was Beg, and third was Masoodi. Only one person from Jammu, perhaps I should not say, he was also only a thumb this impression person, he had no knowledge of. This type of, we have to face these problems. And what these people did there, what with that democracy I am disclosing not on the basis of my own words, but from the basis of this Constituent Assembly debate. They went there under the authority of Dr. Karan Singh, who was acting as a regent of Maharaja, who was appointed as such on only 20th June 1949. That is on record, and you can find even this, perhaps on net, you will find the appointment date is there. And these people took oath as a member of Constituent Assembly on 15th or 16th this June 1949. 4 days earlier. It is very unfortunate that how they got signature of Dr. Karan Singh to take oath in Constituent Assembly. Whether it was fair on their part. And again, I will say that these three people who were not fourth, only three people were there, they got themselves posed with the members of Constituent Assembly in April 49. In what capacity they went there? They made a mockery of Constituent Assembly also. This raises a stigma on the people of Kashmir who had played with the fate of other people. Again, who was the architect of Article 370? That was Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah. He made this, they projected this issue. It went before the Congress party. They rejected outright. Another member who was law minister of our Union of India, this government of India, Ambedkar, he refused. Still they said, कि मैं देश के साथ गद्दारी नहीं कर सकता. And another concerned person who could be there, that was Sardar Patel, who was not only Home Minister but Secretary of State also. He also not agreed with that. Ultimately, some negotiation came. They decided something that we will, all right, give you some relaxation, not as a whole. But ultimately, that article, well, this bill was produced by none, this anger, and it was passed. Again, Janjal Sahab has quoted the provisions of these clauses, third, and we must read second also. What is there? If we find footnote, the consultation or concurrence of the Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly, where it is written, it was only pertaining to class 2 only, not third. Again, we, perhaps this Constitution of India is everywhere available. You find out. Clause 3 is very clear. There was no call for the consultation or the concurrence of state assembly. It was manipulated once a particular proviso of a footnote that sticks something for a particular person, this could not be applied to another. And that is why this our this penitential order issued on 5th August 20th 19 was very perfectly issued. There was no concurrence was required from the Constituent Assembly of India or the Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, Constituent Assembly of this Jammu and Kashmir or Assembly. It could be issued by executive order. Now the question arises, why it was necessary? I will see, quote some instances. It was somewhere in 1964. One member from, perhaps he was Rajasthan or UP, Satveer Shastri. He presented a bill for the abrogation of Article 370. It had the debate on the floor of Lok Sabha. And what is interesting here? All these MPs of our Jammu and Kashmir, 6 members from Lok Sabha, they supported the abrogation of Article 370. That is on record. What it was, you know, very famous, the term is said there that in Pir Panchal hole is also there to connect Jammu Kashmir. Mr. Nanda told on the floor of the house. That was no doubt. Perhaps in those days, here our chief minister was Sheikh Sadat. He dared to this make amendment of sub-areas to governor, chief minister, from prime minister to chief minister, etc. These amendments, and a lot of amendments came out. But at that time also, the attempt was futile. Again, for abrogation, attempt was made at Atal Bihari Vajpayee also in Lok Sabha in 1971. Again, no doubt, perhaps 2 members from Jammu Kashmir, they opposed that arrest for supported that this abrogation. And a complete lot of members from other states also supported, but that attempt also failed. Not only that, if we find Supreme Court, we have chain of judgments. Very famous Bachan Lal Kalrotra, who was this claiming this benefits to West Pakistan refugees. And in that case, direction to the state government was there. You have to look after the grievances of these people of West Pakistan refugees who have been denied the basic right of citizenship that is state subject of Jammu and Kashmir state. And very interestingly, this committee was formed during the period of this Ajad Sahab. What outcome came out? They were Kashmir people from Nation Conference or other parties. On this issue, they were all one. They were saying that you decide first on this resettlement bill of your people. Not of refugees, not of Gorkhas, not of Valmikis, and not to say even the women who had married outside of the state, losing the benefit of state subject, that issue was not being considered by that committee. And another thing, again we say, what was their intention? I refer one judgment of our High Court itself. Because of this atmosphere created on Kashmir people, what that judgment said, very shockingly we must observe that, their contention also. In that judgment, what was said? That we are a sovereign state. That judgment was about Santosh Gupta versus Government of India and the state about bank loan, etc. That was dealing with that, about that State Bank of India loan in that case. And these observations, they said they had no authority to make law for Jammu and Kashmir. So sufficiency law was framed by Government of India. And base what they quote, that we are a sovereign state. No doubt that judgment was done. It was slap on those people who had held such words that we are a sovereign state, and it was very specific that Jammu Kashmir constitution is subordinate to the constitution of India. It was first time it was held by the Supreme Court. To get at this type of this, the intentions of the people, we must say that this, to get rid of these evils, we must stand for our unity of India. And another thing, as Jagya Sahib has rightly said, state subject. If we go by that state subject law also, what was happened? Why it came to our Jammu and Kashmir state? If we go by that history, I will refer to Maharaja Hari Singh's first circular order of 1922. No, 22. First, 22nd after becoming Maharaja. He issued as that circular order, being head of this council, administrative council, the moment he joined Jammu Kashmir government after completing his education. And second, he confirmed it very firmly by issuing notification in that was detailed 47. And when he felt that I have made complete full stop in our Jammu and Kashmir state, and our state cannot progress anymore, he made provisions of amendment by making amendment in 1932. That Azazan Namanda, anybody could come here, he could take Ijazat, he could carry his business, and after watching conduct for certain years, he was given Rahnama also by granting him state subject. Perhaps it was class 3. Not only that, this what happened in 1954? Article 370, where from it came out? At the back of Parliament? How it was allowed? Whether it was in their power? And that is the very crucial issue. What this Constituent Assembly of India decided in January 1947, that what kind of this union shall be there? It should be strong. Every citizen shall have a right to enjoy his all rights in every corner of our country. whether Jammu Kashmir was exception. It was created by certain authorities, certain persons, and they were responsible for the ruin of our Jammu and Kashmir state. And very interesting, much more, is to observe the person who blackmailed the Delhi people in the name of this state subject. What happened in 53? You go by the record of Rai Bhavat also. Out of 5 ministers, his own cabinet ministers, 3 voted against him with serious allegation that forced government of India to oust Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah from the position of Prime Minister and sent him in chief. What was that position? If Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah was so honest, so popular leader, why he was arrested? And another thing, I again quote something for sharing some my knowledge, that not only position stops. Then this Delhi agreement was finalized. I am not going to what happened, but only thing that was decided in that agreement that Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah will ratify the accession of Jammu and Kashmir. That was the core issue. And Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah backed up from that point also. That was the main reason for his arrest and dismissal from this Jammu and Kashmir state. And whatsoever I am saying, it is on the record of this Rai Bhavan. Again, I say, again, the interference of central government on the affairs of who was interested? None else, Lord Mountbatten. Their basic policy was that why he was brought in India. He was not, the British people were not interested for East Pakistan, that is now Bangladesh. They were more particular about the affairs of West Pakistan, which is now present Pakistan. Especially Jammu and Kashmir state. They wanted to have a check on Russia, and it supported this Iran also. For their own policy, they wanted to keep Kashmir in weak hands. That is why this issue of Jammu and Kashmir was kept boiling on. And very interestingly, this issue was referred to this Security Council also on the advice of none. Again, this Lord Mountbatten. And perhaps these are the basic issues which needed to have their weightage to realize what government of India has done in 2019 on 5th August by extending the entire constitution of India. Now the main issue arises, why this union territory was created. Perhaps I am not firm, I am not government, but I realize that to keep a watch on the people of Kashmir, who till 2019 were thinking that we are sovereign, to teach them a lesson that we are citizens of India and we have to live here under the law of the land of India. That is why Union Territory has been made, and the days are not far, as assured by Government of India that we having status also, but not of that where we would have differences like other states of India. And in last, I will say what is needed. That is protection of our agricultural land, and it can be done as done in Himachal Pradesh. Our agricultural land should be protected by government of India. With these words, I silence my voice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking us to the history.
Please like and subscribe.